Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. We're working on the snail trail quilt, making the backing and the binding. So if you want to check out that process, please stay tuned. I am so excited about this process. I received a commission to finish out this snail trail quilt. I'll open it up just a little bit so you can see it. And they sent this quilt top, which is completely hand pieced, and they sent fabric for the backing and the binding. Okay, so I have this fabric, and this is what I'm going to be working with to complete the quilt. I have a roll of batting that I've purchased that's 90 inches by 40 yards, and so I'll be able to cut the batting off of that roll. But what I need to do today, or what I need to do now, is to get this, get the binding done and get the batting done. Get the backing put together so that I can figure out what the next step is going to be. I was given a measurement for this quilt of 89 by 70. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and make the binding, and I probably will use this measurement, but before I do that, I want to just measure one more time with measure it myself, just to be sure that we're all on the same page. I told them the amount of fabric that I felt like I was going to need to finish it out, and there should be a little bit of fabric left over from this, but I know that I need to cut the binding strips first before I try to put a backing together. So my first step is actually going to be not with this fabric, but with the quilt top. I am nervous about this, but I want to give it a very nice press so that I can lay it out and get another measurement, just to be sure. I have a pretty big area right here on my floor, but I'm not sure if it's 89 by 70 space. But I'm going to press the quilt out first, and hopefully I have enough space here where I can lay it out, and then maybe I can put it over there. There's some more space. Maybe I can just sit it out, and so that it won't get back wrinkled. My first step is just going to be to press this out. I won't do this on camera because I think it's going to take a long time. But I think that my procedure is going to be that I'm going to press the front first, and then go through and press the back. Wait, that's not the back. And then flip it back over and press the front. So I'll do that, and then I will hopefully be able to show you the quilt laid out on the floor. I pressed out the quilt top, and I'm really happy with it. It looks so good all pressed out. I've also went ahead and cut my batting. I just kind of estimated, but I cut it a little bit longer than the top. So about 4 inches on each side is what I estimated. So that when I'm ready to do my quilting, or when I'm ready to make my quilt sandwich, everything is all set. Now it's time to prepare this backing fabric. So let's see what that's like. So I have my quilt measured. And it measured about 89.70, so I feel like they gave me an accurate measurement. And I have my binding fabric. It's about 44 inches. Okay, so in order to figure out how many binding strips I'm going to need, first thing I'm going to do is figure out the perimeter of the quilt. Okay, that means I'm going to add all 4 sides. If you already know how to do this, then I'm just doing it for people who don't know how to do it. So the 2 sides are 89, 70, 70, and I have my phone here. I'll figure it out. Let's see. Actually, it's faster for me to do it inside my brain. 140, 180, 178, 11. So the total perimeter is going to be 318 inches. Now to get the number of strips that I'm going to need, I have to divide this number, 318, by 44. I'll try to do this on camera. A little nervous. Let's try 8, 32. Nope, just kidding. Let's try 7, 28. 7 plus 4, 28 to 30. Perfect. So, actually, before I do that, I need to add 15 inches. So, but I have 7 here. So, it would be 7 point. So, I'm going to use 8 strips of fabric. Okay. Now, typically what I would do is if my binding fabric is different from my backing fabric, here it doesn't matter because they're the same. If my binding fabric was different, to figure out the yardage, I would just multiply 8 by the width of the strip, which is 2.5, which equals 16.5 times 8 is 4. So it would be about 20 inches of fabric. Okay, so, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the 8 strips, and then I'll start making my binding. So can you see that? I went ahead and pressed my entire yardage of fabric. It's either 5 yards or 6 yards. I don't know. But I'm going to make the binding first. I pulled my Shape Cut Plus ruler to cut these binding strips at 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and make the binding. I will speed up the video so that you can see what I'm doing, but you don't have to hopefully be so super bored watching it. So I'm just going to line up the fabric and then get it ready to cut. Then I'll speed up the camera so that you can see all of the steps. I have my binding made. Let me see. Can you see me? Let's see. I hope you can see me. I don't know. I have my binding made. It is. I just had it. The binding is right here, and I went ahead and spread the batting out on the floor. That's right down here under my feet. And the reason that I did that is because from this point, I'm going to take my backing fabric and I'm going to lay it out and get an estimate of how much I need. Since the backing is about 44 inches, I am going to take 2 lengths of it and stitch them together. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just going to lay it out and then fold it on itself so that I get double this length that's on the floor, and then I'm going to cut it so that I know exactly what I need to stitch together to get that backing fabric. I'll start that process here, and then so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But then I'll put the fabric, I'll sew it together off camera so that, and then I'll come back when everything is all set. So here we go. The backing is complete now. You can see, hopefully you can see the seam in the middle. I'm gonna, I'll point it out right here. I'll point it out right here. Alright, so the seam is going down the middle of the backing. I will probably set the quilt top more over to one side because it's pretty big. I'm not sure that that I'll need this much backing fabric, but I think it's going to be good. The next step, I have the batting right side down on the floor. I'm going to add my backing. I'm using the warm and white backing, and then I'm going to put my quilt top on the top, get it ready for pinning so that I can start quilting. I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions about what you've seen in the video, leave it in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, check out some more Vlogmas in July videos, and continue to follow this snail trail journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!